Hi, welcome to my text effect tutorial today. We will be doing ginger cookies with some decoration, which is great for the holiday season. I've used this in a lot of retail advertising and social media. I also went through and I made a file with the entire alphabet minus the extra gumdrop decorations. So we have the rastered alphabet, which each letter is, you can just drag them to a document and use them. And then I do also have the iced cookies, in which you can go in and change the settings on all of the icing. And then the plain letters without the extra icing, so that way you can make it your own. And I'll go through and show you how to, when you apply the icing to these, you can just right click here on this icing, copy layer style, and then paste it onto whatever icing decorations, and it will match up perfectly. So I do have this for sale on my website. I will put the link in the description. It's DollarGraphx. There's no I in it. And this one is $5. And I also have a candy cane one that is up here right now as well for $1. Go ahead and take a look. Every bit helps to support the tutorials that will be going on. So right now I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make them. I have downloaded a font called Sniglet, and we'll just go ahead and type in the word cookie, and let's go ahead and do a color overlay. You can go ahead and use this color C09, C75 is fine. Actually, I'm going to change this though to C19, D75. Very similar, can't even see a change. And then we will move right into the bevel and emboss. And you want this to be changed to chisel hard in the technique. And we're going to go ahead and set our size to 10 and soften to 0. Our highlight mode will be soft light. Please make sure that your boxes are checked here. The color for the highlights is DCC 3AC. And shadow mode is set to multiply. And the color that we're going to use here is 897 D66. You can go ahead and play around with these colors if you're going for a little bit of a different look. Anything that's within brown range will work fine. In our contour tab, we're going to do half round, which if you hover, the names will come up, and the range can be set to 50. Our texture will be rock wall. If the rock textures aren't loaded, go over here to settings and come down to rock patterns, and they will load. It is the fourth one in from the right. And change the depth to 150 and scale is 75. And make sure that this is inverted. So both of these boxes should be checked. Okay, we're going to go to our inner shadow, which the blend mode should be set to multiply, and the color that I am using is 442 C16. I'm using global light, and let's go ahead and set the distance to 0. The size is 13. Okay, the contour is linear, which is fine. And from here, we're going to go ahead and just click OK. As you can see, it's starting to take on the cookie effect. You're going to go to your text layer and you're going to click Control or Command, hold it down and click on that layer, and you will see that it will be selected. Go ahead and pull up a new layer and name it Texture. And then you're going to go up to Filter, Render, and Clouds. But let me just show you. I'm not really liking the color scheme. I forgot to change my background and foreground colors first. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's make the foreground color C19D75, which is the same as the text. And our background color will be 5D3813. And you can toggle this back and forth by hitting the X button. And then we'll go back up to Filter, Render, Clouds. And you can go up to Select and then deselect, or Control or Command D, which will also do that. The next thing we want to do is go to our filter gallery, and I will show you this. If you see that it's grayed out, it's because our mode is in CMYK. So let's go ahead and set that to RGB. Don't merge, very important, and then you'll see the filter gallery is available now. So we're going to use note paper, which is under Sketch, and we are going to set the image balance to 50. Graininess can be set at 10 and relief can be set at 12. Click OK. And as you'll see, it's starting to look better. I'm going to go back to Filter Gallery, down to Sketch, and then we're going to go to Reticulation. We want the density to be 4, which mine is already set, and the foreground level will be 40. Once you have that done, you can just click OK. And then we're going to set this layer mode, which is right here, from normal to soft light. And we're going to set the opacity to 75%. And now we can go into Image, Adjustments, Hue and Saturation, and let's set the hue to -7 and saturation to -45. Okay, and once we've gotten that far, now what we're going to start working on is the icing for the cookies. So let me zoom in. We're going to go back to our text layer. We're going to Control and click to bring up this selection again. And we're going to go up to Select, Modify, and Contract. This will be a preference. The higher the number, the more inside it will come. So we can do, I like 20. It's what I used for the alphabet that I've created. And as you can see, that will pull it right in. And then we're going to come over here to our path selection. And down here, where it says Make Work Path from Selection, you're going to hold down the Alt button and you're going to click that. Your tolerance should be 1.0, which will give you the best, the cleanest selection here. You can always go in and use the direct selection and click on these and change them so you can make them wavy. Honestly, if it's a little off, it looks more natural. Unless you really like the perfected look, you can go in and work with each one. And we are going to go to our layers create a new layer and bring it up to the top, and we're going to just label that icing. We are going to select our brush tool, select one that's 100% hard, and we'll do that at a size 10. Click on your direct select tool, right click on the path, and make sure none of the anchors were selected. And you're going to click stroke path, but before you do that, let's set the foreground color to something that is the color of the icing that you want. Let's go with F0 E7, which is what I've used. Click OK. Now you could do red, green, any color that you want. It's really up to you, but for this one we're gonna go for a traditional theme. Click stroke path. You want to make sure that your brush is selected since we set up the settings already. Do not check this box here, leave that blank and click OK. Afterwards, hit the return or enter key and it'll take away the path line. And then we can go ahead and put the effects on the icing. So we will go to the bevel and emboss, and we can do, I believe, size 5 and soften by 5. Shadow, I used something that was in the green, or gray. 897D66, this should be fine to use. And let's go to drop shadow. This was the one that was more gray. So I used, I believe this was the color 4A, 494A. Yes. And then have a distance of 2 and a size of 5 and click OK. So at this point, we now have the plain cookies like I have in this file. So when you want to do the icing on it, I use the pen tool. I set the stroke color to the same color that I used for the icing, 10 pixels for the size, and I like to make sure that the caps are rounded. So what you would do is just personal preference. Just kind of put some icing squiggles. Go to your icing, right click, copy layer style, go to your shape, paste layer style. Now you can either do each one separate, which I did do with the alphabet file, or you can just go ahead, copy it, and pull it down. You could change it up by Control T and then right clicking, and you can flip it to kind of make the squiggles go a different way and just give it a different look. So for the candies that you can put on it, you can click on your ellipse tool, fill it with whatever color you want. Make sure that the stroke is off. Let's make a new layer first, and then fill that. Take the stroke off. When you hold your shift key down, you will get the circle that you want. It's kind of like a gumdrop. There's a couple ways to go around just making it look different. Let's go to bevel and emboss. We'll do smooth. see what each one of these contours does. Kind of looking for something with more of a flatter top. Maybe we want to do, I know it's not outer bevel. Definitely not emboss. No. Okay, so we'll stick with this. Maybe the contour was affecting it a little. Add a drop shadow, which the settings will be fine, the same settings that we had for the icing on that. The other thing that we can also do is I purchased a glitter package. I can't remember the site that I had gotten it from, but it just gives you a style, so you can just click on it, find which color that you like. Just want something that's going to look a little bit more sugary. Double click on the pattern overlay, and the scale is too big, so what we can do is we can just take that down, bevel and emboss. See, now that's doing it on this one, which I like. You kind of get a little bit of the flat top, like a gumdrop. And then you can just, from here, you copy and paste them and make them in different colors. And that's it. At the end of it, when you want to have it set up like this, what you'll do is you will select all layers and group them, Control G, and we can label this original, which you always want to do, and you can even lock it just so that way if something happens, which 8 out of 10 times it does, either we don't save or we end up doing something to the original file, not realizing it, and an hour of work goes into the garbage. Okay, we're going to go ahead and rasterize that layer by Control E, which flattens it. And then we're going to select the marquee selector here and just select each letter, right click on it, to cut it to its own layer. Get the K. The I. And the E. So now we can take each letter and just kind of move it around. You definitely will also have to look at how you want these to fit. You're not going to want each cookie to keep going underneath, or each letter in the word cookie. So you want to bring some forward and some back on the layer menu. And there you go. You can also do the same thing on any type of shapes. So if you create a star or a gingerbread outline, this is not just set for text in itself. I am working on an action, and I just have to play around with it because it's a little glitchy right now. But like I said, I do have the entire alphabet already made. All you have to do is create your own little candies or gumdrops or use them as is, or just follow along with this tutorial and create it on your own. I hope that you enjoyed this video on creating the ginger cookie text effect in Photoshop, and I will have more tutorials to come. Thank you.